So they dropped some really big Project L news this like what, a day or two ago, and man, it caught me by surprise, dude. I was seeing all these influencers, all these like content creators and streamers. It felt like they got everybody out there, man, and from all over the world too. There was such amazing representation, dude. They got people out there from France, from Spain, from Canada, from America, and Japan. All right, maybe not Japan. They might have forgotten a few people, or you know, maybe they just forgot my address. Maybe I gotta check the spam folders. Anyway, what's cool is we did get some new information with the yearly update.
Hey everyone, it's our favorite time of year, so we thought we'd check in and let y'all know what's happening with Project L.
So I was thinking, like, even just from the last time we saw it, it looks like it's coming along. Obviously, for them to be showing this off, this is probably an old build, I'm thinking. Yeah. It already looks a little bit more, you know, it's coming along, right? Like, it has a little bit more to it than the last time we saw it. They're kind of playing up this 2v2 aspect. You have a clear idea on the buttons and stuff like that. I guess we've had that already in theory for a while, but there's Unconquerable and Clockwork. Those two are pretty good at tag games, aren't they?
Duo play works a bit like tag team wrestling. One player controls the champ on stage, and the other waits off screen for their teammate to find the right moment to tag them in. Project L will support 1v1, 2v2, and even 2v1 matchups. So don't worry, solo players.
So I'll say this answers some questions that I had from the last video. A console release for this, but they're encouraging 4-player gameplay? I want to say if it's 2v2, if you have the option, kind of like Skullgirls, right? Where you can pick between like 3-man squad or a 2-man squad with this assist or whatever like that. But also the obvious comparison to this, especially if you want to, if the idea is to be, you know, 2v2 with your teammate next to you, 4 people on a station like that. The obvious comparison here is to, called Street Fighter Cross Tekken. So if you guys don't know the way this was played, so this was the initial launch year for Street Fighter Cross Tekken. And if you guys don't know, this was like 11 years ago, so a lot of you guys probably don't know. The way this game worked was it was a 2-character tag game where it's 2v2 in the game with character roster, but you could tag your other character in. There was a game mode where that character will be played by another player. So you could do 2v2 in-game with 2 players. You would have your teammate next to you, and you would have to communicate with them when you're tagging them in and that kind of stuff. And they ran that format for EVO in EVO 2012. At the time, we were like, this is dumb as fuck, blah, 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 blah. But it's kind of funny that it ends up being kind of ahead of its time, you know what I mean? That kind of comes back into play here now. I wonder what people are going to gravitate towards, you know, just in terms of like, maybe casual audience will, or just like, you know, casually people might gravitate towards the 2v2. How's that going to look queuing up? Is this game, competitively or event-wise, is the grand design according to Riot? They want to take everything back to like 2001 like LAN events where they want everybody to bring their own setup, or are you supposed to like how is this gonna look? You know, it's just stuff that you kind of like thinking about.
Before the game starts, each team can choose to customize.
Yeah, so this is what I was alluding to earlier. And you know, it makes me think too. You got to remember, this game at this point has been like, I don't know obviously, but I feel like it's been a thing for like 5-6 years. We've been hearing people talk about it for like 5-6 years at this point. When you think about it and you look at how this shit looks now, I wonder if because of this system, where you can kind of, this is the fuse system that they were talking about. Each one has a different kind of spin on how your partner interacts with you, I guess. So it's like this one is 2 times assist. Empower your partner with multiple assist options. This one is double down. Oh, this is combined super. So you want to think like Marvel style, just like team super kind of thing, right? Or whatever the case may be. It's kind of like a groove system for assists. So that makes me think, I wonder, this game, it's been in the oven for so long. Is it reasonable to expect like a public test like early next year? You think they would try to drop this game at the end of next year or like early 2025? And I'm thinking if they do that, what's the cast going to look like? Could they maybe get away with having a kind of smaller size cast or middle size? I'm thinking like 12 characters at first. And just because of the way the groove system works, you could probably aim for a bunch of combinations with a bunch of different options. That probably helps the fact that it's only 2 character teams like that. The fact that this groove system exists, and this is some Clockwork shit. Yeah, you could smell that's some Marvel player shit. This kind of idea. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. The assist system probably helps them just like add some variety, you know? There's always combinations that emerge or shells that emerge towards the top, but at least this way you can kind of give yourself a little bit more variety.
I want to talk about one fuse called 2x assist. This allows your team to throw out 2 assists back to back instead of just one.
Is 2v2, they want to heavily push the 2v2, right? And it makes sense, obviously, you know, League's a team game at its core, so it makes sense to represent that in the fighting game representation of it. It's just kind of funny how we go back to 2012. It's like Street Fighter Cross Tekken, you know, and that game failed for a lot of reasons. Obviously not because of it was for like way too many reasons to even like just break down it real quick. But it's kind of funny how the competitive format that they tried for that game in its first year do we look back on it now and we're like, damn, that was ahead of its time?
Champion.
So yeah, this was the other thing too, is like they're gonna have a demo at Evo.
Is Teemo dropping at Evo? Listen, there's 3 characters.
I told y'all I don't know shit about League.
I kept myself on a straight and narrow path. You know, I didn't go off into the weeds. I'm gonna tell you this though. I have watched Arcane, and I know a thing about Tom Kench, Teemo, and Heimerdinger. And if we get any combination of those 3, that's all your asses. It's happening. You know, like looking at the game, I don't know how it plays in person, and I guess it does still seem like a little floaty compared to even like it's been consistent with all the footage that we've seen, especially like I think even last year it felt that way. It's very reminiscent sometimes of Battle for the Grid to me, like the way Hit Stop is. It might also just be the way that they uploaded the video too. I don't know. It's hard to tell really. You kind of just got to give it time. There's some stuff that they need to polish up with, obviously, and like this is still kind of like, in my mind, I'm thinking this is still probably a really early build.
Oh, that's big, man. Okay, nice.
I like that Morrigan color.
It's fine.
Yeah, I guess like that's my thing, is I'm wondering about the speed and like how floaty the physics are, you know? But yeah, I mean, that's all the Riot footage that I'm allowed to share with you guys. Didn't get any of the top secret B-roll footage, but either way, I'm just I'm cautiously optimistic, but also just very curious about the nature of this game and a lot of the details around it. But let me know what you guys think. I'm sure you guys have already watched the 20,000 other reactions to this, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'll holler at y'all later.